What's up? Gotta go grab my watch real quick and then I'm ready to go. How you doing, Blood? Let's see. Live on Twitch. Dog Gaming. Alright. I'll be right back. All right. Just don't run into the island there. Nolaplex, welcome back. What's up, One Shot? Yeah, it's a little fast for trolling. Madeir, welcome back. I'm doing good. How about you? Glad to hear it. Alright, if you type in Russian Fishing 4 and then you filter by today, what you get? KP Shimino, June 6, question and answers, devs, Chinese, new info. Isn't that just what we looked at yesterday? That looks like what we looked up yesterday. I didn't know that was a, was that translated from Chinese, what we looked at yesterday?
Well, how's it going, everyone? Bo here from...
This dude must cover a lot of stuff. That's so interesting that he is, jumping on here with a RF4 video. I don't think I've known him to make RF4 videos, but I've just, maybe I'm wrong on it.
When you...
BZ Hub? Do y'all know BZ Hub? This is just like an update. Like, he talks about, I guess, several games in this. Oh, no, this is all about RF4. He's just, like, about to stream Fishing Planet. So maybe he's a Fishing Planet streamer. And just, throws a bone to RF4 every once in a while. Ooh, we got Happy Hour and Shrimp. Watch out. He was just playing Fishing Planet. Now he plays some RF4. Okay. Oh, even better after your stream started. Thank you. He's mainly a Fishing Planet streamer. Gotcha. Yo, what's up, Matt? I am doing good. How are you doing? Welcome back, Smokey. Glad to hear it. Oh, I can't tell you how bad I wish we had 2 boat rods, which we will once we unlock medium boat rods. But, well, I can set up something else on the other one. I can just do regular fillet. I just don't want to switch back and forth between our mackerel setup and our overnight setup, you know? So, all right, why aren't we catching fish? All right, let's drop it to 25. There we go. It's a hake. What are we even doing out here? What happened to our mackerel? Come on, mackerel. The only downside of using the Taiga C for this is no clip, but I think it's worth it. It's just kind of the perfect size reel for the stuff we're catching. A little cheaper to repair. There's a mackerel. What makes better money, spin or feeder fishing? The great debate. I think it probably depends on what map you're at. I mean, it definitely depends on what map you're at, but also kind of what level range you are. You know, if, like, for example, if you're pretty low level, and if Belaya is actually doing really well, I think arguably, especially for how much money you have to put in, which isn't very much, you can make more money spin fishing at Belaya than feeder fishing at Mosquito and Winding, let's say. It's hard to compare because there's so many cafe orders you're going to hit at Mosquito and Winding. But Belaya has some good cafe orders too, even for low-level spin fishing. So if Belaya is going off at low level, I can see the argument for Belaya. I would just say, like, across the game, I feel like feeder fishing, bottom fishing, carp fishing, it's very consistent. You know, like when people think about how much money you can make spin fishing, one of the things they might think of is, hey, 72.1, we're off to such a good start. One of the things people might think of is like either, you know, when Archie is doing well, which is most of the time, or like when Tunguska is doing well, which is some of the time. the money you can make there trolling or spin fishing in certain ways is really good. Like there's a high ceiling on it. But again, I feel like the bottom fishing and stuff is just consistent. Like somewhere around level 20. Yeah, I mean, so bream at night for feeder fishing is consistent silver. But again, Corey and Volkov trolling during the day probably has a similar amount you can make, if not even a higher ceiling. And the truth is you can do both. It's a little chaotic and a little stressful, like figuring out when do I go back and forth. And Corey especially is like pretty expensive to travel, but the silver you make if the spots are good is still worth it. Yo, R-Tails, how's it going? My day's going well, thank you. Yes, the Model 1 and HSV is good for spin fishing for sure. Some people do prefer the Super Duty because of stiffness. That's a good point. The Model 1 is a little noodly, which you notice especially when you're like trying to flip the fish into the boat when you're spin fishing. But a lot of people still use it. 72.2. Okay, I just think that mackerel, maybe it's because it's easier to catch them at the higher weight range, like above average markers. But compared to when we were catching all those blue whitings and stuff, like this is so much better for points, it seems like. Both yesterday and today. Is the Taiga Sea enough on the Norwegian Sea? No. I mean, if you're fishing for really small stuff, or like some of the starter spots and small lures, yeah, you can make it work. I mean, we're literally catching like sardines and mackerels right now, you know? But as a general Norwegian Sea reel, it's probably not the best idea. You're just going to be really limited. Some fish you're not going to be able to get in. But that's the cool thing about Norwegian Sea is that you can approach it in certain ways and still have fun here regardless. Todd, welcome back. How you doing? Yeah, I got so excited. I saw that KP Shimino video about a new like Chinese question and answer thing. I was like, oh, we can do a reaction video, but it's like the exact same stuff we were talking about yesterday. I didn't realize it was Chinese though. Should I buy the Sea Trip? Oh, I don't think I would buy the Sea Trip if you're talking about buying it with silver. Are you saying you're going to buy the Sea Trip with silver? I'd keep saving. I'd save for spinning setup. It right now I just don't know. Like I think you run a chance of breaking even or not even making your money back on the silver. You probably do make your money back if you're focused, but you might not make much of a profit. So I'd save it. Oh yeah, if it's like I agree with that, Artalis. If it's your like general, I want to fish the sea and have as good a chance as possible, I would get a nicer conventional reel, or even like something like the Venga. Obviously has a lot more strength than this little Taiga Sea does. It might not have, I mean, the Taiga Sea has a really good mech weight, which is why we used to use it for catfish. But it doesn't have a whole lot of max drag. I mean, it's 15.4. So that's the weakness. And that's what you need in some of these intense fights in the Norwegian Sea. It's finally hot in Sweden. Speaking of hot, like, holy cow, I've got to go turn my fan on. All right, we're at that time of night where mackerel are going to stop biting. So we're going to switch to some sort of, like, bottom fishing. 68, yeah. And just in case we hook into a monster, we're going to get our full setup here. What would happen if we put small fish fillets? It's going to increase the bite rate, right? But it's going to be small fish, most likely. But if this is too slow, we could try that. All right. Let me turn my fan on. It is so hot in this room. Oh, there you go. Is that so? That's the main reel you've used, Todd? Well, there you go. So it might be better than I think it is for this map. I just have only used it for small stuff. That is such a, I mean, it's such a cheaper way to at least get into fishing here. And if you're using the like Lurker 100 and some of the smaller lures, it does allow you to start making that, some of that Norwegian sea money, which is totally worthwhile. So Sikorsky says, been watching your YouTube for years, finally see you on Twitch. Oh, so glad that you were able to come by, and thanks for all the support on Twitch, by the way. I mean, on YouTube, by the way. All right, here we go. Catch those tiny mackerel during the day and some decent sized cusk at night. You're up 20K silver. Oh, nice. So you're glad to get that Taiga Sea and start making some of that silver, huh? That's great. Todd, do you also have carp setups at all? Like, do you have the caliber HSV kind of thing, or have you done carp? I can't remember. You have 3 calibers, 3 carp rods, 45 in the bank. Nice. What a good spot to be at. You do, Todd? Okay, cool. 45K. What's your goal? Like, what are you wanting to, what's your, like, I mean, you're kind of at the point where it's like, what in-game setup do you want to buy first? So what's your in-game dream? Like, is it to come out to the Norwegian Sea and catch most of the fish in the sea? Is it to start putting together sets to go catch, like, the biggest sturgeon? I mean, there's so many, with the setups you have, you can already catch so many fish, right? But you're thinking Triumph? Okay, so that would be for the sea fishing, right? Which is totally worthwhile. I mean, I wouldn't blame you for that. Like, I'm having a great time at the Norwegian map, so that would make sense. Yeah, I think that's a good plan. I wish I had the ability to test out. I can't remember which one it is, but there's a Taiga conventional reel. I think it was. Somebody talked about it in chat yesterday. It's like 43K or something like that. I wish I had a chance to test that out, like on a big halibut or something with a medium boat rod, and just see how well it performs. I mean, it'd be nice to have a, you know, a cheaper option than going all the way up to the Triumph or the Borealis or whatever. But in the end, it might be worth just saving. I mean, you're already like halfway there, right? Yeah. Yeah. Taiga LTD. Yeah, that one. Yeah, I mean, there are some options. You can skimp a little bit, right? But in the long run, are you going to regret it? Maybe. I don't know. Thank you, Blunty. C42S. 5K in 3 days in amber. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. No, I've been hearing amber's doing really well. That's why I'm here out in the sea catching mackerel. But no bitterness at all. We've just got to get that marine fishing thing up. Yeah, so it's got a huge mech. So that's the benefit. It's kind of like the, yeah, it's kind of like the next evolution of the Taiga Sea that I have. Big mech, but you're losing so much on the max drag compared to the big boy reels, right? Okay, so just my opinion, but if you literally mean all you're going to be doing is fishing for carp, I'm not even sure that I would go with the Vengas. But sometimes when people say that, they also are thinking, well, I might occasionally want to fish for Russian sturgeon or other stuff. Then I totally get it. But if you for sure are only going to be fishing for carp, I would at least. Oh, okay. Yeah. No, yeah. If you're including big heads, wild carp, Russian sturgeon, Venga's where it's at. Cheaper version would be like what, Overlord, that kind of thing. But Venga's where it's at. I don't know. I'd love to try the Goliath on like sturgeon, but obviously that's a lot more silver. And we've heard people say, at least out here, we're gonna fish with mackerel, right? Because we know that there's mackerel here. So why wouldn't there also be predators here looking for these fillets of mackerel? From what I hear, that Goliath, I think it was Bad Boys, somebody was telling us that Goliath wears down in the seawater too fast. But I bet I mean, obviously, if the Venga's already overpowered for carp, then you know the Goliath is going to be. But for sturgeon, it'd probably feel pretty good. Yeah, look how quick that bite is on the mackerel bites. What do you think about Everest? Skip the Everest. Not worth it. Phoenix is not sure about other reels besides the Venga. Beluga, I don't know when, waste of time. Yeah, that's my perspective on beluga. I don't know when. Feels like a waste of time. So yeah, I don't like the Everest 2. I think so the problem with the Everest 2 to me is, and it may just be in my head, but it's been around so long that it just feels like it's been surpassed and lapped by some of the newer reels. I have an Everest. I think it's attached to my marker, one of my, either the marker or the spod rod. There it is. But see, look how worn out it is. So I mean, I would never use it on actual fishing. The mech's at 19.9%. The spool's at 12.5%. Grease is ridiculous. But we just throw it out on the marker rod. One of these times we're going to cast it out and the whole thing's just going to come apart. Truthfully. But it's okay. Just hit 56 in Diablo. Nice. Yeah, I finished the campaign and the epilogue last night. I'm not sure how much more I'm going to play Diablo 4 right now. But we'll see. I don't know. It's fun. It's fun. It's fine. The hard part about Diablo 4 is that, like, you know, I've really been into RF4 and a couple of other MMOs. So Diablo 4 comes out and sort of pulls me away from the things that I was into. Now, I really enjoyed Diablo 4. I thought as always, the voice acting and video, I mean, the video work by Blizzard is always top notch, but I don't know. It's fine. If I would go for sturgeon now, definitely buy the new ones. Phoenix is saying, so for sturgeon, you would get the Goliath. Is that what you're saying? Demon Spell says, when are you going to make some YouTube videos for new players? Yo. Is that true? Is that a real question? You know who's been doing some really good videos for new players lately? This is my segue to supporting a fellow content creator that just seems like a good dude. And I'm also a bit sad because I really like, not that I think I remember this person being in our community, but like I didn't really connect who they were with the fact that they were a content creator or whatever. So anyway, DT Gaming, little love. And he's been doing some good videos and really going back and doing some videos for brand new players. So appreciate that. So there's a little love for a fellow content creator for RF4, DT Gaming. I've never interacted with DT Gaming directly, that I remember at least, although I'm sure there could have been times that DT Gaming has been in chat. I just don't remember like what our conversations have been like. But his RF4 videos just started showing up on my YouTube algorithm. And I appreciate that he's making a lot of good content, especially for new players. But yeah, I don't know how to answer that question exactly, to be honest. Like, I am currently doing a leveling guide that is very experimental. So I'm not sure that it's the most helpful thing for new players, although it, of course, it's going to have some stuff that's helpful. But it has also involved like trips to the Norwegian Sea and a very aggressive line towards getting to carp fishing and trolling quarry and that kind of stuff. So, and at this point I'm doing like dual playing on my main account and the leveling account. So it's gotten a bit weird. But yeah, I will try to continue to support the health of this game by making videos that make sense for people who are brand new to the game. That's the thing that I enjoy most about making videos, is trying to help newer players to the game, because a lot of people helped me when I was new, and without a little help and encouragement, this game is pretty overwhelming in the beginning, although I will say it's gotten better. Friend is using Goliath now on sturgeons, no complaints. Oh, that's awesome. Maybe Tagara is best option for carps. I mean, I wouldn't say that either necessarily. I think it's just worth thinking about. So, to be honest, I use the Magaras. And I'm not even saying that's the best option. You've got Magaras, you've got Tagaras, and you've got Vingas. But then you also have stuff like Avias. I think we sometimes just get too much power for carp. Like, we're trying to be able to pull in a trophy carp with as little fight as possible, when realistically, you don't actually get that many trophy carp on the line. So you don't necessarily need to make a setup that's specifically for efficiency with trophies. You just want efficiency with the average carp you're going to catch. So I think you can go a little cheaper on carp reels than saving all the way up for Magaras and Tagaras, in my opinion, if we're talking about amber and bear and old berg. Now, once you throw in wild carp, big heads, and sturgeons, I think the conversation changes. So that's all I was kind of saying with that. But I'm not saying Vingas aren't the answer, because maybe ultimately they still are. They're so flexible. You can do so many things, like fish Norwegian Sea, like fish for sturgeon. You're fishing for carp with them. But I just think it's worth thinking through, if that's my main purpose is fishing for carp, do I need to spend the amount of silver that a Vinga costs? Just my opinion. I'm still getting new uniques and legendary effects, so I'm having fun. Oh, that's awesome, Blunty. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a ton for me to explore. I mean, as you know, because I'm assuming, have you finished the campaign, or did you just do a lot more? So yeah, I just kind of, at some point, I just started like focusing on the campaign, but there's so much I haven't even touched yet, for sure. I'm not that new, but last time I played with Salonga and I was at Belaya, I don't remember anything now. Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, especially like if you stop at a like low to mid-level like point and walk away from the game and then come back, like it is hard. Like there's so much you've kind of forgotten, I was thinking 3 Avias instead of 3 Calibers. Oh man, yeah. I mean, if you can, Are you saying for carp, like, if you can be patient enough to get avias instead of calibers? I mean, avias, I think, are great for carp. The problem is, usually people are so, by the time they get to, like, they can see carp fishing, it's within sight. That's one reason why caliber HSVs are so nice. It just doesn't take that long to save up for them in the grand scheme of things, where avias, you know, that's a good bit more silver. So you went to Archie and 3 times Zandy trophies. Everyone's like, are you cheating? So you hit 3 Xander trophies in one session at Archie? That's pretty amazing. Oh, you're most of the way through tier 3, about to capstone to tier 4. Oh, wow. So I'm still playing tier 1. I played tier 1 all the way through the end of the campaign. Yeah, that's awesome, Sikorsky. Yeah, and what a good testament to the calibers that you've saved that much silver, at least somewhat, through carp fishing, using those caliber HSVs. Have you been using them at, I mean, I guess you've been using them at Amber. Like, are you even mindful of, like, where you fish at Amber and how you approach it with those calibers? Or have you just pretty much been like, I can do anything here, I'm just going to go for it? Yeah, I bet you did make good silver that hour. That's a ton of trophies. I may go back to the... I wish I had a spinning reel that was a little less expensive and a little less strength than the Tagara, but that was still seaworthy. The Tagara is like the cheapest thing I have that's seaworthy. You know, like, I just hate to, do I have 45 of this line? Yeah. We're going to get a little more strength out of it. We might as well get a little more strength out of it. All right, so let's go to, let's do 12 retrieval speed. Let's set the clip for 25. I fish everywhere, but on artificial corn, they're better. Smaller size fish, you pull them like Gibble's crucians. On bigger fish, your friction breaks and suffer. Since I changed the best oil in the game, no complaints. My friction break is upgraded to 17. Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. See, like, it's like, it's just really good to hear like that kind of experience, because from doing the leveling guides and getting the caliber HSVs, and using the caliber HSVs on my main account a little bit, like, I felt really good about them, but I usually stop the leveling guide about the time I get 1 or 2 or even 3 of them. And so I haven't really had that full experience of, like, relying on them day after day for carp fishing. It always seems like it would be good, but it's good to actually hear from someone who's actually done that. Overlord is not marked as C-Reel, but it works super well. I've only repaired mech once, and I'm at 90%. Huh. Yeah, I don't have an Overlord, but... Again, like the Avia. Even the gold 80. Wouldn't that be funny using a gold 80 out here? Holy cow. I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that. So, wow. That is awesome. so you can use monoline, so that slows down the damage. Yeah. It's a pain hauling in blue tag carps with HSV, but other than that, it works great. Yeah, that's awesome. Just make sure you change to the extra stab oil. Wait, is that really what it's called? Extra stab? Have you, so Blunty, have you, any reel that you're using in the sea, are you changing to extra stab reel? Is that what you're saying? What the heck? It went away. There you go. That's why you don't plan for the blue tag. Now, if the blue tag hits, it would be nice to have like at least the possibility of getting it in, right? But 23,000 fish, 0 blue tags. Any reel I own over 10K, no matter what, should be on extra stab oil. Really? Okay. Even if you're using them like somewhere else. Huh. Dude. We are pulling in some mackerels right now. Common carp and Xander both with HSV. Wow, that's awesome, Todd. You use mechanic generic oil. Blood says I think it's called extra solid. That's what I thought too. Oh, extra solid. Okay, stab is like the acronym for the whole thing. I don't know. We'll look at it. So are a lot of people doing that? I have not done that. I have never seen damage to my equipment happen as fast as it's happening out here at the Norwegian map, though. Yo, what's up? Over a kilo. Oh, goodness. We've got 2 Todds in the chat at the same time. Good luck to my brain. How's it going, unknown Todd? Fishing's good. You know, we're just catching the mackerels. Although nighttime gets a little more exciting when we threw out the big chunks of meat. I wish they bring the reel. That's what I use in real life fishing for carp. What is that, Matt? What's it called? You use that 1 month of carp and sturge, only 8% wear. Wow. That's great. Go stabby stab, huh? What'd you get spooled on? Were you in the Norwegian Sea? The Venga C40. What is that the conventional Venga? I need to look that up. What's that? Hold on, let me look that up. I want to see. I don't know that reel. Where's the reel sheet? Wait, should I look at reel sheets with friction brake upgrades? Which one should I look at, Blunty? Is this one okay to look at? All right, what are we talking about? Venga C40. So it's conventional. Oh gosh. If only I read Russian. Maybe there's an easier one. I bet there's an easier for me to look at. Crap. I gotta pay attention to fishing here too. There should be a tab at the bottom on your sheet. Oh, okay. Gotcha. So I shouldn't have clicked on a link. I should have just gone to the bottom of yours. Gotcha. Reel list. Okay, thank you. Oh, it's a whiting. That'd be cool if we caught some nice whitings here as well, to be honest. Try to press right. Yeah, I don't know if it does that on an Excel document, does it? I'm actually not sure. All right, here's the reel list. Fish on. Can you just whisper it to me? Yeah, I've got it. But if you need to send me a link, just whisper it to me if you know how to do that. I would rather not start doing any links in chat from other people just to be on the safe side. But yeah, I've got the real list. All right, so what were we talking about? The Venga conventional. All right. There it is. Oakwood double handle deluxe carp bait runner. Hold on, Matt. I want to look this up. That's awesome. I should wait and do all this in overnight so that I'm not like distracted from my mackerel fishing. Oh, come on. Come on, what was that? All right, let it drop again. Wait, is it something like this? Is it something like this? Does that look right? Yeah, you're welcome to, Matt. Unless this is it. Is that it? That's cool. All right, so Venga C40. 30.8 drag. That's pretty cool. What's the cost on that? 5 stars. Oh, I got you. Cost 57. That's interesting. So the only downside of that is you don't have the mech weight, like the massive mech weight for people who are wanting to be able to like lock up the huge whatever 100 and whatever kilo lines here on Norway. But I don't know, like out of all the fishing you do out here, when that's actually relevant. Oh, we don't know the weight of that one. I mean, I think it said it was like 80, but you're saying that might not even be accurate? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Well, never mind. Never mind. I'm totally wrong then. All right, let's see. Yeah, that's the exact same thing. Okay. And it's currently unavailable, by the way. Your double handle size 40 deluxe bait runner fishing carp reel. Plus, it comes with some line. Nice. It's got very good reviews. That's awesome. Oh, am I looking at the wrong thing? Maybe I'm looking at the wrong thing. Okay. What was I looking at? Venga C42S. Is that not the right one? Venga. Oh, yeah. No, yeah, you're right. I don't have it. It just says over 300 as PHC max load. I was looking at the wrong line. Okay, never mind. So, what is the downside then? That seems like a really good reel option for Norway. Why don't more people talk about that one? Answer me that, chat. Pike Hunter Captain? Oh, cool. So why don't we point people towards that one instead of saving for the 90,000? Yeah, but is 70 meters of line worth however many thousands of silver. Todd says no, that's why I bought it. Wait, where's the albacore? Is it literally... All right, albacore 40 DS, conventional 30.8, same strength. Cost is even cheaper. What's the spool size? Somebody answer me the spool size. What's the spool size difference? Hey, did you catch anything, Matt? $72.3. This has been the best happy hour we've had in a long time. A nice little carp? That's awesome. All right, let me see if I can figure it out. All right, you said 330. I can't figure this out. Not when I have a fish on. Anyway, that's interesting. So albacore is even a cheaper option, it looks like, with similar strength and still lockable at 180 whatever. Right? Your bottom fishing's at 44 and your spin fishing's at 70. You're going to get your bottom up later? Oh, the albacore holds more line. Wait. Oh, Vinga is cheaper repairs. Is that right? Is that the main benefit of Vinga? How'd you like tier 3? Wait, what? Tier 3 of... Tier 3. What does that mean? Is tier 3... If somebody says, how'd you like tier 3? Blunty, does that translate into something on Diablo? I haven't played Nightmare difficulty. He knows that I just finished... Come on, Amar. Why are you asking me these hard questions? I haven't done all that. You complete a capstone and can level up the difficulty. I have done none of that. I said I have done none of that yet. All I did was watch the cutscenes, finish the game. Isn't it something you're supposed to do a little closer to level 50 or not? Does level really not matter too much? You had to gear up a bit on the Necro? Okay. $72.4. Holy cow. It matters, but if you can force your way into tier 3 and kill literally anything, you'll start getting crazy better gear. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's a good point. What's up, Amar? Welcome. And then stuff dies way faster. Yeah. Oh, that's so funny, Amar. Yo, what's up, Renzi? Oh, man. My first Sacred Legendary I got in like 10 minutes and up my damage by 20%. Oh, wow. That's great. What kind of necro build are you running, Blunty? Ooh, yeah, do it, Matt. Do it, Matt. I'll go look. Use a wand and a focus for the speed. I got you. You're trying to get a white eye trophy? That's a tough one. That can be a real tough one. Wait, have I ever caught a white eye trophy? Yeah, I bet I have, actually. Volkov? Oh, tuba. On bark beetle larva. That's not an easy one, though. What happened to my... Did my clip just get taken off? Or am I missing this many fish? Oh, I'm just missing this many fish. Of course. Summoner. I love having max minions around me. Yeah, I love summoning builds, actually. For a long time, I've always played the wizard on Diablo, so I had to do that first, but I do really like summoner builds. I use a wand, plus I want an extra legendary perk. Oh, because you've got 2 pieces of gear? Gotcha. Yeah, it's tough just trying to complete the feeder challenge. Gotcha. Yeah. All right, hold on. Let's look at this real quick. Real life fishing. Is that what we're under? And let's see it. Holy cow, I've missed a bunch of pictures lately. Is that like, to me that looks like a little common carp. Is that what you would call that? Or does the terminology we use in game not actually work in real life? Here's a carp Matt caught. Common carp? Okay. So we're up to 72.4. It looks like a grass carp to me. No, what is that, Blunty? Summer Game Fest. Oh, is that like for video games? No, I had not planned on watching that. Any big announcements coming that we know of? Oh, is that the one that what's his name does? What is his name? He's been around forever. Live today at 3 Eastern. Oh, interesting. Yeah, Jeff Keighley. Basically the replacement for E3. Yeah. Final Fantasy 16. So they're not expecting a lot of huge announcements from either PlayStation or Xbox because of other recent things that they've had. It's interesting. Maybe there'll be something PC-wise that's more interesting. Got a Black Sea Kudum weekly record, global record, and it wasn't even a trophy. Yeah. Them fish are rare. It's a nice pollock out of nowhere. That moment when you're glad you have a Tagara on. Alright, let's actually mix it up. Let's go clip 15 for a bit. Then perk it, and then... Not that we can actually perk it, but fake perk it. And then we can always drop it to 25 if we want to. There we go. Maybe we can speed this up a little bit even. Yeah, definitely made some good progress. It's been a heck of a... We're at 72.4 now. It's been a really nice happy hour since we started. Happy hour should be about over now, but maybe we'll get a couple more random points. All right, so we'll just lift this up and down. There we go. You just hit 90%. Wow. Why did it drop off? Yeah, we are getting there. At the Xbox show, we'll see Starfield exclusive. Oh, interesting. Is that game actually getting there? Are we actually getting somewhere with Starfield these days? Wait, what? Is it really? That's soon. %38 marine fishing on your trips. Wow. Pollock? I think mackerel are so OP for getting points. Yo, Seekus Nakui. Congrats on level 31. I can't imagine Starfield is going to be that good. Probably Fallout in space mixed with No Man's Sky. So kind of cool, but I don't think it'll take the world by storm. I love space games, so I might try. Just tried the capstone on Diablo for tier 4. I'm not ready yet. Isn't that the last one? What do you do after that, Amar? Like, what's going to motivate you after you finish that? So I went last night after finishing the campaign. I went and like talked to the Whisper Tree again or whatever, and the Whisper Tree wanted me to go over to this one area and get like, I don't know, 10 wishes of, I don't know, something saying that I'm cool enough to come turn it into the Whisper Tree, and the Whisper Tree is going to give me some reward or something. And so I went over there and I probably did about half of them, right? Like I needed to do 5 of the missions to get the 10 things, and I did 5 of them. And it just kind of hit me, and I was like, man, now that I finished the campaign, this feels even more like an MMO than it ever did when I was like kind of on rails focused on the campaign. Which in some ways I would say that's a good thing, but in other ways I'm like, would I rather just be playing an MMO? And I don't know, I haven't really kind of experienced enough post-campaign to even like make that judgment call, but I did start to have that thought in my head. If that makes sense. Now, I will be very interested in seasons. So like that's one of the things I kind of want to do is at least maybe go around and get, well, actually, hold on. When a new season comes out, everything we've done on our account, here's the question. Will anything continue on from seasons? In other words, if I've gotten all of the Lilith statues, will that matter on my seasons character? It won't, right? Everything will be reset. Like, I think when you start a new season, if it's a season character, all that will be gone, right? Anyway, Blizzard does tend to, at least in Diablo 3, tend to do a pretty good job with season content. So I think that could make it fresh enough to come back, play through some of the content some more, enjoy the season, get season rewards. Like, that worked pretty well for Diablo 3 for a while. Does it work long enough to keep people playing off and on until like a year and a half from now when they start gearing up for the first expansion? I don't know, maybe. It's a long time though. I mean, if you do, Amar, like, do you have that? Have they said that? If you do, that is such a big change from how they've always done seasons in the past. The idea that you would start with Paragon points or anything like that at the beginning of a season is like, that would be very much different than, because the whole idea of a season is it's a fresh start, so you can have a fresh race or whatever. Now, cosmetics, they might have let you keep with a season character. I think that probably is true, as long as it is strictly cosmetic. But anything else, you don't keep anything. It's a fresh wipe. Yeah, so that's what I want to figure out is, has it been confirmed that you keep the Lilith statue bonuses? I mean, that is such a big thing. When they start a new season, if anybody is like has it in mind to try to race or be, you know, competitive at like how fast you level, you would have to do all the Lilith statues. And that's not till July, right? First season in July. I mean, it's the same thing in PoE, right? Like anything that's account bound, it's account for if you play a character on the regular realm. But the moment you do a seasonal realm, that's its own thing. And so nothing you've unlocked is relevant. Lilith statues is something in Diablo 4 where it's account bound bonuses you get across all your characters. So it's one of the ways that you can like make it where your experience, if you decide to run a second character and all, then it's going to be a little bit easier because that and a couple other things carry over from your main. Yeah, because that's the downside, Amar. So what happens is when the season ends, that season character becomes a regular character, which your current character is a regular character. And it sort of like combines everything, like the progress you made on the season character with the progress you've made on your current regular character. All of that gets combined to your account. It's really weird, right? Now, cosmetics, that will be open across the board. They're not going to take cosmetics away from you just because it's a season. But anything that gives you an advantage, it has to be a fresh wipe on the season because everyone's got to start at the same place, you know? Yeah, I haven't even done it yet, Blunty. And that's like one of the things I'm trying to figure out. Like, do I even want to go unlock all the statues? $72.5. What a day for points this has been. Yeah, I could be wrong, Amar. Like, they may just be thinking of it completely different than they did with Diablo 3. Or the way that PoE does it. It may be really different. Yeah. Yeah. We're on the Eternal Realm. Each season will be its own realm. But at the end of the season, it'll dump you back into the Eternal Realm. At least that's the way it's always worked before. That's interesting. Daniel Matt says, to me, the 34 hole is better than the 41 hole for low level. I think that has been the case recently. I haven't tried this mackerel fishing on the 34 hole, at least since I started using these particular baits. It may work just as well there. I know a lot of people said the 30-meter hole for going for small fish and stuff was really good as well. I just haven't tried it. Diablo 4. Yeah, Diablo 4 just came out recently. That's what we were talking about. Is it a good game? Yeah, if you like ARPGs. I mean, it's a really good good experience. I'm always torn though, like that ARPG. I tend to, you know, unlike MMOs, for me, ARPGs are like you dump a bunch of time into your character for like a month, right? Or maybe 3 weeks or whatever. And maybe a little longer. Like on PoE, it can take a little longer if you want to really get through maps and all that kind of stuff. And then you kind of, I mean, for me at least, then I sort of take a break, right? It doesn't hold me for as long as an MMO that I'm really into. Even though I love that the gameplay, the action, quick, grab loot. I mean, the actual loop of all that is super fun. Yeah, so obviously no spoilers, but I will just say, um, on one hand, I very much liked the way that they like had your character interacting with the main story and the main characters of the story. But on the other hand, like the decisions that we made in that final act and a half, like all that. I mean, I get 72.6. I guess the expression like there will be hell to pay, you know, it's especially relevant in this case. I think they made it pretty clear where we're headed for the expansion in terms of the prime villains that are going to be coming back. Holy cow, guys. 72.7. I've never seen non-happy hour skill points like this. I don't know. There's something about these mackerel, right? Your wish is my command. You just like the sound, don't you? You thought the writing was weak, but the ending was still cool fun. I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me to judge the quality of the writing because I think to me, it's so much better than what Diablo 3 had. I thought Diablo 3 was just like laughable. And so I'm like, this is better, you know? I also, at the end there, like I was so nervous. I was anticipating like some turns. I was anticipating that certain characters might make some really poor decisions. And so I was kind of on the edge of my seat. And honestly, none of that really happened. So, not that it was anticlimactic. I still thought it was fun and good. But I was mostly just relieved by the end. Basil, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. Yo to you. Alright, I think we've hit that time in the night where the mackerel have closed their eyes and they're doing whatever fish do when it's time to sleep. So let's throw this out here. Actually, let's put one of the big ones on there for the first fish at least. Yeah, let's give it another couple weeks or something, Blunty. Yeah, I will say, I thought it was funny that it was like the last 2 acts or whatever had like, it felt like 75 to 80% of the story and cutscenes and everything were saved for the like very end, right? Maybe it could have been spread out a little more, but I don't know. I was entertained. It's a good little run. Grats on level 22, Daniel Matt. Probably just a cusk, I don't know. Psycho 4201, Grats on level 29. All kinds of leveling up happening today. Oh, that's awesome, Blunty. Big old cusk. Alright, so let's go small fillet, get a little quicker fish bite, and then I think I'm going to go grab a sandwich or something before it's mackerel time. Safe don't count. That's funny.
Steht da noch Scheiß? Soll ich noch was gesehen?
Why is... That's so weird. Twitch is so weird sometimes. $72.7. I never dreamed we would get this many points today. That is huge. Although this is much slower than I expected. It's like you can tell where the overnights are. The cusks show up. What is this? It's a cod, right? It's a nice cod. Alright, awesome. Alright, let's stand in here so we don't get rained on. Alright, I'm gonna go grab a sandwich. I'll be right back. Like 5 minutes probably, maybe less. I'm just gonna make a quick sandwich. And then we'll get on some mackerel. Yo, mister, thanks for the follow. Does anybody know, like, let's say you're logged into an account that's not premium, right? Can you still easily see the items in your inventory that are eligible to be sent to another player? Or do you have to be premium to even see, like, you know how if you go to like send a message to somebody, like it'll bring up the stuff that's eligible to be sent? You can still see that? Okay, cool. Thank you. I'm going to log into, so I don't know if any of you all would remember this. Like, some of you have definitely been around, but back in the day, I had a main alt account, right? And it was actually, the account name is MDog Gaming. Because back in the day, I actually loved to do the dual playing on two accounts at the same time, even when I was streaming. Like, I did that a good bit. I haven't done that as much lately until I started this newest sort of leveling thing. And it's been fun. So I was thinking about, I think I want to log into that alt account. I just don't remember like what, if anything, on that main alt account, which by the way was like high enough level to easily fish amber. Like I was carp fishing on both accounts at one point. So I just kind of want to see like what's on that account that I could send. Because I'm sort of thinking through, like, maybe this new account that I'm doing on this leveling series, Salty M-Dog, maybe that becomes my, you know, quote-unquote main alt account now. But I want to log in to see on M-Dog Gaming kind of where we were and stuff. If that makes sense. Man, this has been so good. Like, we're also... like one fish at a time, you know, we're going to make 500 silver or something. Like, it's crazy. All right. For some reason, M-Dog Gaming was last at Volkov River. It's probably been like months since I logged into this account. Oh, that was a good sandwich. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, are you talking about on the M-Dog Gaming account or on the Salty M-Dog account? I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. Your idea is still a good one either way. I mean, honestly, like, I think I would... a series like that, or not a series, but like a video like that where I'm trying to target a lesser targeted fish, I would probably do that on my main account because I probably need to catch some of those lesser targeted fish on my main account. You know what I mean? But what I am thinking is it might be nice to send some of my like stuff, if there's very much that's eligible on this old account that used to be my main alt account, to this new account, the Salty M-Dog account, that's sort of my current alt account. Just kind of bringing in all my resources to one place. Or even sending stuff from this old alt account to my main account. Like, you know, you can definitely send baits and stuff. Like, everything saves you silver if you don't have to buy it. So, now that would involve, like, it'd have to be worth it, right? Like, because that would involve getting premium for the day or the weekend or whatever. You just had a mashed potato, bean, and sausage sandwich. That sounds good, too. I just had a peanut butter sandwich, honestly. But I just needed a little protein, a little pick-me-up to keep going here. Oh, true. It totally could, Blunty. That's such a good call. The fishing is so good right now in this spot that I don't want to, like, be distracted. But when I guess when I have a moment, or just choose to take a moment, I will, I can even bring up the other account for you guys to see as well. There are 33 messages on there. One of the unfortunate things is some people will see, they'll search for M-Dog Gaming instead of M-Dog. And so they find this old alt account. And they're probably like, when they find it, they're probably like, huh, he's level 31? I could have sworn M-Dog was higher level than 31. Oh well, let's send him a message, you know what I mean? So I always have lots of messages on this account when I do look. But just so you know, I am M-Dog on the game. M-Dog Gaming on Twitch and YouTube. I do. I have so many accounts. So many Gmails have been started just for the sake of a new leveling guide. All right, let me just make sure. You never know with messages, like, let's just make sure these messages are friendly here. Bad Boy says, is this you, bro? That's funny. This is an alternate version of me. Yes. Oh, thanks, Just Renzi. I appreciate it. Aw, Matt 2K17 says hi. Before Matt realized what my actual account was. That was back in like the beginning of April, Matt. Sorry I never responded to your message, but it wasn't to my main account. You were probably like, oh, what a stuffy streamer he is. Doesn't even respond to people. Always feel bad, like people from for a long time ago, like asking me questions, thinking that this is my main account. It's a bit depressing. Back in December of 2021, so that's been a minute, somebody sent me a live white bream and a live perch, like bait, and said, give it to anyone who needs it. I don't think those are going to still be good. What do y'all think? They may have spoiled by now. Someone says, again, over 2 years ago, someone messaged my alt account, can you give me eel mix? Probably at the time we were experimenting with ground bait that might work with eel or something. Aw, Jasco, level 40, sent me some ground bait. Again, probably to do with eel. Have you ever talked about carp fishing for beginners? Yes, I have. Sorry, I never answered your question 2 years later. Where's the best spot in Mosquito Lake? I wonder if that was old Mosquito Lake they were asking about. May of 2021. Was that old or new? Yo, what are you saying, Slip? Maybe had a look, question mark? What are you asking me? By the way, if you just joined, I'm reading messages that people sent to my old alt account, thinking it was my main account from 2 years ago or longer. Would you send me some egg dough, please? Hi. Help. Someone said, hello, help food for man. Oh, man. It's good stuff. Ooh, another nice mackerel. Another nice mackerel. Oh, at the bait fish. No, I'll look now. That's a good call. Because there's a chance, I guess, that the way the game could handle it is... No, yeah, it's spoiled. I was going to say, like, maybe it stays fresh in the postal service, right? But unfortunately, it is definitely spoiled. Definitely 100% spoiled. Yeah, it could be a glitch to keep... That's right. We'll just send them back and forth till we're ready to use them. That's funny. Can you make me some lures? Oh, no. Oh, no. Somebody sent me ingredients to make them 2 balsa lures. But they sent it to the wrong account. And it's Dictator too. I remember Dictator. Are you still around? Do you still play this game? That's so sad. Do y'all remember Dictator? I feel like it's been a while. Dictator's not still around, right? Maybe you should give me a great name. I got up to a new something. I got 16, kept showing broken rods and reels. So they wanted me to like rename their character because they needed to make a new account because of how much gear they've destroyed. What's the formula for eel ground bait? Was I making a big deal about eel ground bait in March of 2021 or something? That's so weird. So weird. Hey, mister, can I ask you something? Is the Spinning Universal Pro Kit worth buying? I don't know. Maybe? Most of the kits are decent. I don't know. All right. So I've gotten through all the messages, so now I can actually bring this account up. Hey, you're trying to still get Sichel on drift? Nice. Like literally right now, that's what you're doing, Quantum? Hey, since we didn't catch anything, we'll take this as a sign to take a break from mackerel fishing for just a second. Let me see if I can pull up this... All right, here's the alt account. So see, we're level 31, right? No premium, 1100 silver. Are y'all seeing this okay? Is that showing up? And let's see. All right, let's look and see what gear. Let's see what gear we have. All right, we've got, of course, a bamboo rod. We've got a basic telerod and a slightly upgraded telestick. This one goes up to 6.1 kilos. Not bad. Only spinning reel. So this was like almost 100% bottom fishing. We'll look at the stats in a minute. But the only spinning reel we have is a single Super Duty S78H. All right, we've got the West Hill Wingate. Yo, can I send this? Does anybody remember the West Hill Wingate? Oh, and look at the reel that's on here. The mayor. Okay, so all this stuff got stuck. This was stuff that was on my main account that I used to use on my main account back in the day. And I sent it to my alt account because like this was my alt account that I was playing on both accounts. And then around that time they made the change and I wasn't able to send it back. Oh, it's so depressing, dude. I used to love this Wingate. Such a fun rod. Ugh. Alright, anyway. So that's probably the strongest feeder we had. Palmer. Those Palmer feeders aren't bad. I haven't thought about those in forever. Good like bream feeder rods. Like, nice little rods. Alright, there's a second feeder and a second Wingate and a second Mayor. Holy cow. How long has it been since anybody thought about the Mayor? Alright, here's a Fortuna feeder. We had a set of 3 Fortuna feeders and then those. So it looked like at the end we were using 2 Wingates and a Model 1 feeder. And look at this Narga 8000. Again, something that got stuck on this account that was on my main account at one point. And then we do have some picker rods. So we were carp fishing on feeders. On Westgates and a Model 1 feeder. That's so interesting. But look at these reels. Narga. Look at these 2 Mayors though. I mean, does anybody have any Mayors? Like that used to be a really good reel, right? 19 kilo strength. That's a nice reel. It just doesn't have the spool size of modern reels. If you're doing the qualifications, you need a Wingate. Oh, is that right? What does the Wingate provide for you that you need? Oh, just the big load capacity? Is that the thing? They removed them. Oh, can you no longer get them? They're still there, just nobody buys them? Oh, crap. I'm fishing and y'all can't see it. Alright, let me get off this alt account. So that's everything we have. Let's see what our stats were. Bottom fishing. What? Look at the 99.9 on bottom fishing. How did we stop at 99.9? How do you even do that? I mean, I should be still having nightmares about that. We still have a skill reset, by the way. All right. So let's say we wanted to send a message to myself. Okay. Let's say I wanted to send a message to myself. You gotta get it to 100? Yeah, exactly. All right. And we click this. Oh, you can only see it if you're premium. That would make life easier if they didn't do it that way. All right, but y'all are saying, let's see. How do we tell? Okay, it is possible. So it says it right under where. It is possible. Not possible. So does that mean these, yeah, not possible, I guess? The Boonison pickers. and the West Hill wind gates, they're just stuck. Stuck over here. What about the mayors? Man, I really like these reels. They do not have saltwater protection, by the way. No saltwater. Oh, I can send this one. For some reason, I can send this mayor. So this mayor was bought with gold on sale or something. The other one was not. What about my Saber 60s? Nope. What about the Narga? Yes. Oh, I've got to get the Narga and the Saber and the mayor off of this account. Look at all these gold 80s. These used to be on my main account. This was like, these were the main reels back in the day. These Alpha 8000s. All these reels got stuck on my alt account because of that rule change they made in the game. There's an old Lacerti, couple of Hercules. I like these 40S Hercules. And then all of this stuff I could send. Boilies and all that. It would take forever, but we could send all of this stuff if we wanted to our new alt account. Or I could just go back to this alt account, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to exit. We're going to quit thinking about it for now. But either way, that is interesting, right? There's a mayor and a Narga that I can get back either to my new alt or to this account, unless I'm going to start fishing on that account at least. Need to do at least one vid on it to get to 100%. Yeah, for sure. Come fish for maybe do some carp fishing, try to hit 100. Well, that was crazy. All right. Thank y'all for being patient there. I was, yeah, I don't know. I'll have to think about it. Might be nice to just send that stuff to, well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Probably ought to just send it to my main account, and then I can always decide from my main account if I want to send it to Salty. So 3 levels away from being able to go to Norway outright. Yeah, that means we were carp fishing on those mayors. 2 mayors and the other one. Beginner-friendly carp fishing, I guess. Ooh, fat sardine. I gotta turn my fan off now. Annoying white eyes. Yeah, that's a tough one to trophy. Sometimes it's just, they're tough because they just don't, there's just not enough volume of them, right? A lot of times you just can't catch enough of them to feel like you've got a good trophy chance. Yeah, that's right. It's just such a low bite rate. When was this, Quantum? How long ago? Yeah, I am so, like, I talk a big talk on Lotro, but the reality is, I don't play it that much. I wish I played it more. I always have a good time when I play it. Ugh. It's funny, just recently I re-downloaded it and updated it. Haven't played it yet, though. I was thinking about actually doing like a video series on it. I had some ideas, but I don't know, we'll see. But sorry I ghosted you, Quantum. That wasn't very nice. Come on, get another lucky point. Or two. Last year? Well, Quantum, I am sorry I ghosted you. Woo! Look at that Baltic sturgeon. 64. This is interesting. This is an interesting account. Look at the rods and reels. Looks like a lot of spin fishing probably, and then going for the big fish on bottom. Well, maybe not spinning. I'm not sure. I'm actually kind of confused. Okay. What's up, Addy? Welcome back. You ghosted your ex for 6 months? Wait, what, Matt? That sounds like a story. That sounds like a story. I think there's been 2 expansions since then. It's so true. Hey, do you play it? Did you ever play it? By the way, Quantum? Alright, what is this? Before the Shadow? When is this coming out? It's already out? It says 22. Is that already out? That's just the current expansion, maybe? Oh, now available. That one's out now. Alright, so what was the last expansion? Fate of Gundabad? 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 And then the War of Three Peaks. Yeah, that sounds right. Did you like it? Do you like it? Have you liked it? Cool. Oh, nice, Blunty. It's cool, just low pop? Yeah. Yeah. So true. Ooh, over a kilo. How far have you made it? Like, have you made it through the epic storyline or vanilla epic storyline? Main story? What is it called in Lotro? The main book? Epic Quest? Epic Book? I don't remember how they call it. You were worried that it was a Hallie? Oh, man. What a great surprise to catch a 35 kilo cod when you were afraid that it was a Hallie, right? Ooh, 3 tunes in the 60s. Awesome. What's your favorite class? If you have one. Trophy Sardine, Wildhawk. Nice. That's a big one. I don't have a Trophy Sardine yet. Your favorite class is the... I'll come up with it in a second, Quantum. It's not a thief. It's a burglar. Burglar is your favorite class. Yo, I should play that class. Burglar has got to be the class that I've played the least. Stabby, stabby. It's kind of like a rogue, right? We are at 89 fish. Do you level it in red line like other classes? I guess there's a few classes where like either yellow or blue line is sometimes also pretty good for leveling, just depending on the class, but I feel like red line is the most often. There's no telling how many fish we've caught if I had actually kept all the fish. Like more recently, I've been keeping a lot of the fish, even the small ones. So like the non-markers, but earlier I was pretty much just keeping markers. I guess not all the time. Is it? Early game is hard? Till like 30, 35 or something? Late game, it's a beast. I feel like the best classes, I mean, I'm sure Burglar is great, and I really haven't played Burglar enough to be able to comment on it. But sometimes I feel like the best classes in Lotro are the ones that are sort of unique to Lotro. Like, Captain is such an interesting class in Lotro that you don't exactly find that exact archetype in other games. Same with Minstrel, although maybe not quite as much, but I still feel like Minstrel has some pretty interesting things going on. Same with Lore Master. Such an interesting class, and not exactly like other classes or archetypes in most MMOs. Yeah, no worries. No, I'm just talking about Lotro a little bit. So anyway, like, I mean, I enjoy playing things like Champion, but, you know, Champion's just like a two-handed warrior, basically. Or you can play single-handed, for that matter. I mean, it's a pretty typical... Hunter is fun, but Hunter is in every MMO. It's cool that Lotro has some archetypes that are kind of unique to Lotro. Cassavir, welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Can we get one more sardine before the night sets in here? Probably one more. I feel like I can usually catch them up to 2200. Yeah, there we go. Oh, you're getting ready for a heroic raid, and wow, that's awesome. That is actually awesome. So many mackerel. I love it this time of night. Like if you get the fillet in there pretty quick before the actual overnight has fully set in, get a pretty fast bite. Oh, is that what you're missing? Is the trophy perch on mosquito? I feel like there's been some spots lately where that's maybe at least been possible, right? That one in the eye can be a little bit of a pain. Only that one, yeah. Let's cusk it up. What is trophy size again, Slip? Oh, you're trying to get Sigil. That's right. Is that what you're still doing, trying to get Sigil? Yeah, your trophy for perch is 1.6. That's right. I was talking about Sigil for Slip is trying to get, I think, a trophy Sigil, if I'm not mistaken, for float. You had an eye trophy? Yeah, did you do it on the pea porridge? I saw a lot of people were catching it on pea porridge, although sometimes just a boilie setup it'll be so slow, but it has a decent chance at a trophy as well. Oh. Pea porridge just over the bridge, off to the right, near the bush, casting towards boat, 10-meter clip. I think I finally got my, if I'm not mistaken, I think I finally got my trophy perch on a jig. Yeah, Maggot 4001. That one took me a while though. Like the eye was no problem. Obviously everything else comes fairly easily if you just focus it, but holy cow, this perch took me a while. In fact, it took me so long that when I finally finished it, I was like, I don't want to work on these trophy cards. If they come, they come. I'm not worried about it. But it's cool though. Like, I think as long as you don't get burnt out on it, I appreciate that way more than the challenges. For me, at least, the trophy cards seem a little more interesting than the challenges. Tried that too. Mini maggots. Yeah, I'm guessing that's not a that's probably pretty common for someone to finally get it on maggot, right? You did yours on garlic and mussel. Wait, oh, is that for eyed slip or perch? You got trophy perch on garlic? Boilies? You got the perch on the same day as the eyed? Oh, that's awesome. You don't have light spinning? Yeah, that was probably the same time I was doing it. What's up, Pier Fishing? How's it going? Have I just drifted? Am I not on it? No? Like, what's the problem here? Alright, so what did I catch the eyed on? Mussels and fruit, 16. Oh, that's what you were saying. Yeah, the eyed. Yeah. Mussels and fruit, 16. Egg dough. Worm. Egg dough. Egg dough. Egg dough. Just kidding. Fly. And red worm. Dude. How about that egg dough, though? That's right, Zerk. The only thing I'm not sure of, like, does anybody know when this came out, was this new Mosquito or was trophy cards out when we still had old Mosquito? Because that's the thing I'm not sure of. Like, did I catch all these egg dough trophies back when it was old Mosquito? Or was this after the revamp that trophy cards came out? $66, $78 cast northwest on jig. Yeah. How many egg dough do I have right now? 213,000. Do you think my game would log in faster if I had less egg dough? It was new? Okay. Didn't I? Oops. Oh, dude. This has been so slow. Didn't I actually accidentally buy 1,000,000 salt or something too? Oh, maybe not. Oh, that's because it stacks now. I have 1,434 salts. Mistakes were made, chat. Mistakes were made. And at the time, I was like, oh, well, maybe I'll use it up eventually. I no longer believe that that's the truth. It will not ever get used. No way. Mosquito was revamped in 2020. Holy cow, I'm getting so old. I've been playing this game for so long. That feels like not that long ago. And it feels like I played this game for a long time before that happened. By the way, that was a tiny, spiny dogfish. I feel like I should move a bunch of those egg dough and a bunch of that salt over to the tent or something and see if that really does, like, just lighten the load of logging in on this account. Deal of the day. Oh, it hasn't changed over yet. Daily deal. Time Stories Revolution, the Haydall Project. No thanks. Payday 2 is free on Epic today. Guacamole 2 is free next week on Epic.
Challenge. Challenge accepted.
Yo, Slip comes in with the Prime sub. Thank you so much. Does this mean you have forgiven me for ghosting you, Slip? I just got an email about daily deals. Thank you for the sub, Quantum. I appreciate it. We're up to 24 subs, chat. Holy cow. I don't know if I've ever been at 24 subs before. Maybe I have. Maybe there was a time when before I changed jobs, when I was streaming more and we sort of had built up a little momentum. I might have had a little bit more than 24, but not by a lot. You are the forgiving type of guy. Look at that, Quantum. That's amazing. I at least owe you a Lotro stream or video or something though, right? Any bream spots on Old Berg? Yeah, what's your favorite bream spot on Old Berg right now, chat? Better in my pocket than Jeff's. Zerk says 36, 58, 10 meter. Is that the one I took note of yesterday? Or one of the ones? I think it was. Ooh! We got a fish, chat. Alright. Actually, that's not one of the ones. 36. 58. 10 meter. But didn't you say that you've had better results than I did on the leveling? Oh, it's another spiny. You're saying there's a chance. Just outside of the gate next to the bridge. Oh, really? Is that's that, you know, that's an amazing spot. That spot is hot so often for so many different species. If it's the one I'm thinking of. Or is that just past it? Actually, that might be the one just past it. Like casting kind of near that pier in that little hole. Anyway, that whole area is pretty amazing, though. It seems like. Because that's right next to that eel spot, tench spot, carp spot, bream spot, crucian gibble spot. Dude, does Moobot not ever say anything about YouTube? Does that not come up automatically anymore? What's wrong with Moobot? I haven't logged into Moobot in so long. All right, custom commands. All right, there's the YouTube one. Can I edit it to automatically? looks like it is set up to automatically. Yeah, but it came up because I did exclamation point YouTube. So one day Sitchel fishing, 27 tagged, 1 rud, 3 bleak. The rest Sitchel. Huh. No way you would fish like that in real life the way it is at Old Berg. Oh, me. All right, so where are the I'm just thinking tomorrow, like tomorrow afternoon, I'm hoping to get a carp stream in. I haven't fished for carp in way too long. But the question is, where are the best carp fishes spots at the moment? So this is what I'm thinking tomorrow is that first I do happy hour here and try to get a few more points over happy hour. And then we go do some carp fishing. 132, 147. Really? Is that spot doing good, huh? I think it's another cod, isn't it? Yep. All right. That's eel weather. Yep. We've had matches where we pull out water because of thunder. Yeah, for sure. Make Sura great again. Yeah, Sura needs some help. Last few days, it's all amber, right? Dynamic says, yo. I don't know. I haven't been to amber. But, I mean, I've heard good things. Why did we just turn that into a QR code? All right, let's look at this. 132, 147. This is for tomorrow, so things could have changed. I'm just curious. Looks like they're catching some frames. And a few rares mixed in. Kinda. Uh... 88.79. Oh, that's a weird spot. Yo, thanks Pier Fishing. Appreciate that, Pier Fishing. What is this 88.79 spot? I mean, it doesn't look like what they're catching is even that great. Oh, I guess there's a rare. That's like at that pier, and that's just with corn, so it's probably a really fast bite rate for what it's worth. All right, 169.83 under the oak. Is that the spot? Is that the spot? Looks like somebody's got a trophy ghost common. And they were using 25 pellet size and 20 boilie, if I'm looking at that right. Fat or medium PVA size. Ooh, look at that whiting, by the way. That's beautiful. If there were a few more whiting mixed into this, it would be so OP. It would be actually broken. 2-aught hooks. So it might be a little slow, but they did catch Trophy Ghost Carp. All right, here's 132, 147. Where's 132, 147, chat? 1.5 hours. The bite is peppy. Looks like there's some rares mixed in. Oh, that I know where. Never mind. I know where 132 is. That's that spot. Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. Garlic. All right, what do y'all think? Garlic? Is that the way to go right now? Another mackerel. You had a grassy on Inferno. 24.84? My goodness. Try original with amino. Go full bland. Neutraland. See what you get. Are you talking to me, Copycat? Is that for me? I'm doing carp fishing tomorrow, I think. I was just kind of looking to see what was out there right now. I just haven't fished for carp in so long. So, like, I'm hoping to do a little longer stream tomorrow and start a little bit later to allow for a mix of EU and NA folks. And I also am hoping to do some carp fishing. Which means we might do a little bit of double account. We'll see how that goes. Depends on how fast the carp fishing is. I was also thinking about, like, instead of doing all 3 carp rods with Megaras, maybe using like the Avia, the Caliber SLC, you know, like doing a mixture of gear and rods just to kind of, I don't know, keep it interesting, show some more beginner friendly setups. I guess what would be really cool would be to like do the very beginner one, which would be like Caliber HLV, Caliber 80. The Avia, like a mid-tier, and then the Megara, like the high tier. But I don't know. We'll see. Ooh, it's a sardine. How many fish are we up to? 107. Good grief. Yo, what are you saying, Slip? What was that? Seversky? Wait, what are you saying? Is that a real is there a real spot right now? Mackerel. Tinch, grass, and wild? Seversky? Tinch, grass carp, and wild carp? Are you saying that's what I should do? Instead of carp fish? Wild carp, tinch, grass carp. Interesting. Hydrate. That's a good idea. Uh-oh. Is Copycat agreeing with Quantum? I will say this, like, next to Broken Bridge on Side River. Interesting. You should just, like, put that idea in your back pocket, Quantum, and remind me sometime. Because I do think it would be fun to spend some time working on the trophy card, fishing some of these places that don't get as much attention anymore. But I think I need to wait until my excitement for Norway has died down. Because let's be honest, eventually I'm going to get 75% marine fishing. And then I might take a little bit of a break, but mostly I'm doing that so that I can use drop shot. And then, you know, start building towards some setups where I can actually target the really big fish and just have some different experiences that I haven't been able to have here yet. So, like, I think that's a great idea, and I probably will, but I need to, like, play out Norway a little more. So you've actually been doing that, Quantum. That's amazing. Is that right, Zerk? Yeah, I mean, it's been so long since I fished carp. Like, I am super excited about fishing for carp. But I am definitely... I feel like the way that Norway is set up, the higher level you get in marine fishing, the more you're able to target some pretty cool fish. So I definitely want to try some of that out, you know, once I get there. Yeah, that's a good point, Quantum. I guess it just depends on what the bite rate is like. I mean, that would be fun. If you end up being around tomorrow, just remind me. Maybe we'll spend an hour doing that after we I love how, like, you catch those little sardines and then all of a sudden one of these big thick boys come out and it's like, oh, looks so cool. Maybe we'll spend an hour or so doing that before Amber. I just gotta, so when we start the stream tomorrow, at least this is my idea. This is how I hope it will work out. We come, we do happy hour here, try to get a couple points, and then maybe we go try something like that, or go straight to Amber or whatever. We go do some carp fishing. Some fun carp fishing. I hate when those fish get away, man. Yeah, that's right. Sharks are fun, aren't they? Honestly, just being able to finally put the stronger line and leader, once I can get that medium boat rod, like, that's just going to be fun to me. Now, it might be slow. I might not be able to catch the big fish that I want to catch as quickly as I want to, but I can at least go for them and have a little more confidence. It's medium bite? Okay. If you have coordinates, if you want to send me an in-game message with the coordinates, I'll try to take note on my notepad. Or if you want to say it in chat, I'll just type it out real quick. If you're not there, I can just put what you told me, but I don't know if I'll know exactly where that is. I have honestly not spent a lot of time at Seversky. Oh. Marine Paternoster? What do you have on it? Typically, I would say you just want to let it sit on the bottom, and then just every once in a while move it manually, because you can't actually get the perking thing going. So mostly you just want to let it sit on the bottom if you are going to fish at the bottom with it. And just every once in a while, like, move it up or something. Just keep it interesting. Yeah, no problem. $120, $78, Seversky, broken peg, so stupid how often fish just come off here. Broken peg, clip 12, grass, wild, tench. So what are you liking for bait, Quantum? We're at 116 fish currently. I mean, it's just so frustrating. What? Craytail potato? Crayfish tail? As in, like, premium bait? Or like boilies? That's not a boilie. They do make boilies, right? Do they not make crayfish boilies? Dude, that's going to be almost impossible to actually trophy one of those at Seversky, right? Not tench. Tench might not be impossible. But wild carp, grass carp at Seversky, that's a long shot, isn't it? Not to catch one, but to trophy it. That feels like a long shot. It's pretty fun, though. It's a good idea, Quantum. I'll give you that. These kind of things are fun. These kind of things are so fun. It's what makes carp fishing so amazing. There's so much different stuff you can try. I totally agree with you. I'm just saying, like, setting expectations realistic here. That's going to be a long shot, right? Cray for tench, if you want to target. And potato for grassy. Yeah, there's so much we could try. There's so many directions you could go with that. Yo, Jorwal, thanks so much. I appreciate that. I don't know what your plan is tomorrow, Jorwal, but I am going to hopefully get back on and do a longer stream tomorrow. And we're going to finally venture away from Norway for the first time in a long time and do some carp fishing. My plan is to carp fish at Amber, although chat right now is trying to entice me with some of these like creative experiments at Seversky on trying to get grass, wilds, and tench there. So we'll see how it goes. But thanks for the support on YouTube, and thank you for coming by the stream today. Not impossible. It's on the card. Plus there's the common too. Oh, I love me some buffalo, Renzi. I do love me some buffalo. Although they do not exist at Seversky, right? The biggest grass on here, 38 kilo. 28 last month was the last big one caught. Yeah, now you've got me thinking about it. So I think you just want to try to find some boilie. I don't know that you can target the grass and the wild carp at the same time, right? So you probably want to go one or the other. Now you can probably target grass and tench at the same time, maybe. Because that's what's happening. People are trying to catch big carp, at least sometimes, and they're actually getting tench as well. The wild carp, you gotta go fishy, right? 30 kilo wild end of last month. Fish got away, surprise to no one. We're at 120 fish. You want to try? Yeah, go scout it, Renzi. Send me some info. Tomorrow we'll be that far ahead of the game. Oh, man. I mean, if we're going to do that, why don't we just go, like, isn't there part of you that says if we're going to do that, why don't we just go to winding and work on the Donnet's Rough and the perch and the mussels? Oh, that sounds terrible. Forget I said that. I can't. I just can't. Even though Donnet's Rough is so much more passable right now than it typically is. Now, some interesting black carp have been coming out at Old Berg. I don't know about trying to trophy it, but that spot does have occasional black carp coming out. How have I never trophied frog there? That can't be that hard at Old Berg, right? It's also weird that I've never had a trophy common at Old Berg. Seversky is very underrated. Yeah, I mean, it can, I don't know, like I haven't spent enough time there, and when I have fished Seversky, it's been like the whole drifting thing for the most part. So like I have no idea how much silver, how much XP can you actually make in that back river where the carp and tench are. I have no idea. NR07, I just hauled a 12 kilo grassy with Adriatica. Yeah, I bet that was intense. That sounds very intense. Quantum says black is all I need there at Old Berg. Nice. Very nice. I wish I could give y'all a specific time for the stream time tomorrow, but I really can't. I'm just not sure. I think it will be like maybe even around this time or a little later. I'm not sure though, because I kind of want to do a longer stream and I want it to start in the afternoon but then go to the evening. But I just have to see how I'm feeling, see what else is going on. But that's the plan. That's the hope. Really? You're catching 250 an hour at Seversky? Dude, slip. That is awesome. That's like, I mean, that could end up being really good intel for like mid-level players, right? Yo, I hope you can be there, Jorwal. Thank you so much. I think what I'm gonna do is meet my wife for lunch. Because she's busy tomorrow night, so we're gonna meet for lunch, hang out a little bit, and then when I get home from that is probably when I'll start the stream. That's amazing, Quantum. That's actually amazing. So what are you, Jorwal, like 5 hours ahead? I think you're like 5 hours ahead of me. Is it like 6:40 your time? So if I end up doing what I just said, then I will definitely have already started by now tomorrow.
Challenge.
If that works out.
Challenge
Yo,
accepted.
Jorwal subs tier 1 this minute? Thank you so much, Jorwal. I really appreciate that. We're now up to 25 subs. Again, I don't know exactly what the like maximum I've ever had is, but we've got to be pushing it. Thank you, Jorwal. Tier 1 sub. Really appreciate it. Is it possible to get a good bite rate with carp with bottom rigs? Absolutely. Do you mean like using potato on a loop rig or something at Bear? I think the thing you're going to notice a difference in... Now, first of all, at Amber, I'm not sure. I haven't tested Amber with natural baits as much. But certainly at Old Berg and Bear, you're going to do fine on natural baits. you might not do quite as good as you could if you were using boilies. But, I mean, make sure that you're understanding, and you probably are, but make sure that you understand you can use boilies on your bottom rig as long as you've unlocked classic hair rig and then later classic pop-up rig. Like, as long as you have those unlocked, you can fish using boilies, even using like a feeder rod instead of a carp rod. So like this feeder rod, Fortuna feeder, you could set this up with the caliber HSV and fish for carp. You just got to watch the load capacity, keep it under 19. Or you could use the impulse, keep it under 21. Look, you can see I've got carp stuff on this one set up. You just need to watch the test. Make sure that the test is strong enough. Palmer goes up to 12. That's probably a little light. Now the Siberia Sentence, again, another great carp feeder rod. Just stay under 24. Okay, Addy. Hey, thanks for hanging out, and I hope your head gets feeling better. Yeah, it's 6:40. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we should be good. Should be good. If you end up being free, hopefully I'll have started before now. If I go for Pontics and Sham, it's up to 300. Oh, you're talking about silver per hour? Yeah, dude. Float fishing for those fish can be so good when they're hitting. When they're hitting, that is good stuff. Honey does well on amber. Yes, especially float fishing. Does honey do well if you're just using a bottom rig? I'm not even sure. I don't think I've ever tried that. If I have, I don't remember. Oh, hey, what's up, Crush Tar? How you doing? All right, we're at 129 fish. We're going to try to catch one more here. Yeah, I'm at 41. We are just killing the mackerel. Trying to level up marine fishing. It's actually been a pretty good day. Better than yesterday in terms of marine fishing points. We're at 72.7. But we haven't had a trophy mackerel today. And we did have a trophy yesterday, which was a lot of fun. Honey dough. Whoa, Koja. 51.8 kilo timing. What? 51.8 kilo timing on a squirrel at lower Tunguska. Wow. Wow. There's an old YouTube video of a telly player with a trophy mirror on honey dough, gets to the bank and it drops off. Ouch is right. Ouch is right. Just wondering if I could fish a weaker setup like Titan, maybe catch smaller non-trophy carp with bottom rig instead of carp setups at Bear. Yeah, I think you could. Like, even if you use smaller hooks and smaller baits, you're occasionally still going to get, you know, the 22 kilo grass carp that's going to absolutely ruin your day. But that doesn't mean you can't do it. You know what I mean? Like, you just got to realize that that's a possibility. All right. There's our 130th fish, chat. What a day. All right, I'll be right back. I don't want to, but I feel like we should turn some of these mackerel into bait. So this would actually be a really good day to just go out there and fish with like the lurker or something. So you get so many of these cafe orders potentially. But that's not what I did. Over 1,000 silver. That's really good for just fishing for mackerel. You had a really lucky catch there yesterday on the Eastern 41. A 20 kilo Atlantic Wolffish Super Trophy on an M25 300 number 10 with 60 kilos setup. That is amazing. That's amazing. All right, I'm just going to sell it. I'm just going to get the silver. Let's just go over 1,000 silver here. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, let's call it for today, chat. Man, thank y'all so much for the support. Thanks for the new subs, all the follows. Great to hang out with you all. I'm definitely hoping to be back tomorrow and super excited to get some carp fishing in. So tomorrow we'll be work on marine skill fishing for happy hour and then spend a little longer time working on carp. But thank y'all for hanging out. Tight lines. Hope to see you tomorrow and wish you the best. Talk to you later.